Hello and welcome to the second episode of Memory Card. Memory Card is going to be my game series where I talk about gaming memories that I have while I act using the idea of a memory card. I hope you'll agree. So I touched on this a bit in my first episode, but I want to do this episode now about I think is the best of the rest of console first-person shooters, and for me it's Perfect Dark. Okay, it doesn't have a license, it's not a Bond game, it's not a movie tie-in game, it's its own thing. And I think the good thing about that is it means it can have a different focus, it can do something really, really interesting, and it can take chances. And one of the big chances this game took was rather than a male character as the main character, the male characters are more secondary characters, and instead there's a female character as the lead in Joanna Dark. And I think that's a bold move at the time when most first person games you controlled a guy. So it's nice to have a switch up there. It does keep some of the things that you do have in GoldenEye. There are missions, and the missions do have difficulty settings, but this time it's a bit more futuristic in its layout and in its design. Thankfully, graphically, the faces on this game look a lot better. They actually look like faces rather than what they did on GoldenEye, which was just a brief, vague representation of what someone's face looks like. So graphically, I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. It's spot on. But this game is just not just graphically quite impressive, but I think gameplay as well. So first of all, I want to talk about the missions, the way the missions play. The first couple of missions are your kind of standard missions you maybe expect, where you've got to try and foil a plot, that kind of thing, and collect. Odd enough, you have to collect a necklace. But then the missions kind of they start to do, like I said earlier, and take some chances. The fourth mission, which is my favourite mission of all, which is set in a villa. Quite a nice idea. It's quite a bright, vibrant setting. But the chance they take with this mission is you start off not with your usual handgun, not with a machine gun, but you start with a sniper rifle. And really, usually most first-person games, most shooting games and missions, you have a handgun or a machine gun or some sort of automatic weapon. To start off with a sniper rifle is a bold move, and the sniper rifle is part of the first opening few minutes of the mission. In fact, the first opening few seconds of the mission, should I say, you have to protect an informant. And you've got to stand from your point and take out two guards that are about to take out the informant who are down on a pier. Another massive risk this game is taking here is that you can fail an objective seconds into the game, seconds into the mission. You've barely done anything. You've just stood there, you've just existed, and already you're in the action. That is a bold move to take to allow you to essentially completely and utterly balls up the mission. And this even is on the easiest difficulty. So it's just, I think it's just a nice little touch. It just shows you that, okay, even though this is an easy difficulty, no more playing around. This is serious. There's a few other missions as well. There's one in, I think, Chicago as well, where you can quite spectacularly, even on easy difficulty, completely spectacularly fail the mission. So it's such a good game for that. it's taking chances. The other thing I like about this game in the missions is that it's not set kind of in a regular present day setting. It's a bit more futuristic. It's a bit more interesting, um, and it does have that kind of spy espionage feel to it. You're playing as a special agent, and also Joanna's sister's an agent as well. But I'll pick up on that in a bit. Um, it's definitely that's a couple of things I like about the missions anyway. So the other thing about this game and the missions is that you can play them cooperatively, so you can play them as a two-player, and that's where Velvet Dark, Joanna's sister, comes in. The second player will play as Velvet. And going back to risk taking, you can have friendly fire, so you can take on and you can accidentally take out your teammate if you're not careful. That's a nice touch. It just goes a bit of the way towards not making the game super easy, um, with having two people. The next thing about it, little add-ons, is you can do it counter-operatively as well. So you can one of you can play as Joanna, and the other person is as a guard. So the job of the guard is, of course, to stop whoever's player one and Joanna from winning the mission. The great thing about this is, if your guard gets killed, you then take on another guard. There's a nice little weird thing about this as well, and strange thing that I'm surprised they have in this game, is that the guards have suicide pills. So basically, you could, in fact, in theory, basically as a second player, help your friend to speed run through the level, um, by self-ending the guard you come in control of. A bit of a controversial move, but it's something that adds to the kind of, I was going to say adds to the gameplay. I'm trying to word this as carefully as possible, but it's an interesting dynamic. That's all I can say on that. Um, the second thing about this game is the multiplayer. The multiplayer, I think, is just fantastic. They have so many different features in this. It's just ridiculous. So you can have there's challenges. There's up to like 30 challenges, and so you can do the challenges multiplayer as well. So you can take them on single, or you can go with a friend. They slowly go up in difficulty, and they mean that you have to actually play certain aspects of the game. So you're King of the Hill, idea being you have a set area. You have to go in and take control of that area for a minute, 2 minutes, however long it is. Then you get a point. Go to the next area, rinse, repeat. There's capture the case ones as well. Excuse me. And the simulants in there get increasingly harder, which is nice. There's a lot of simulants you can unlock, from the completely dumbfoundingly stupid meat sims, who are just thick as mince and just run around, point at the sky, and you can move through them. Basically, as the name suggests, they are meat. Right the way through to perfect sims and dark sims, which are these elite simulants that can run on walls and do crazy flips and tricks and stuff like that as well. So that's something that not an awful lot of games that I've played anyway, or I've heard talk about, bother to create a simulant that is just downright mental and can do stuff that the gamer themselves can't do, and to create this super hard challenge. I think that the final one is something like 2 Dark Sims, The game does get harder if you do. There's more simulates if you do play in one player or two player, three player. For that one, I haven't really played it. I think that instead of doubling the enemy count when you play with more people, I think it only has me one extra at the most, so it's not too difficult for you. But that's just something that I really like about this game, that they've actually allowed that Nintendo and the creators have allowed this to happen, that you can be challenged, that the game can be difficult, there can be something hard about the game. And I think more game developers should do that. There's always a debate about are games getting easier, but I won't touch on that here. So I really like that aspect of it. It's great fun. You can have custom games as well. One of the favourite ones of mine is to have myself and a friend up against 8 meat sims with ridiculous weapons, particularly ones that explode. Um, it's just a riot. There's just explosions going off left, right, and centre. It's crazy that you can do this, but the game does suffer a massive slowdown when you do this. But they've allowed it to happen, and I really like that about it. They've decided that they want to push the N64 to its limits, and I applaud them for that. It's just a wild thing, mental thing to do. There's a glitch you can do one of the levels if you, I think it's capture the case or have a base style scenario, and one level has a toilet. It's based around, I think it's called Felicity, but it's based around the facility level on GoldenEye. But because obviously they haven't got the license, they've called it something else, even though it looks pretty much exactly the same. Um, and a nice little pun there, Felicity. Go figure on that one. It's a fun thing you can do, and if you've got the game, you should try it. Is if you can get the enemy's base to appear in the toilets, and you have proximity mines, what you can do, or proximity and remote mines. That's it. You basically spam remote mines around the area, around their base, and also if you've got it set up so remote mines, I think it's or something that explodes, spawns up in their base. If you plant enough of them, you can, because the enemies are spawning their base, you can set up an explosion that just keeps on going and going and going and going and going. Um, if you get it just right, and so the enemies spawn and are just basically because the explosion is going on, the enemies spawn into the explosion, and it's just you can max the score out that way. It's crazy. You can max your score and your the kill count in the game up. It's a mad thing that you can do. It's a bit of fun if you get it just right. Um, Go and look it up and see if there's any videos on YouTube. Or try it yourself. It's just a hilarious little thing you can do, and I like the touch of it. It's a great fun little thing you can go away and muck about with. And finally, one of my favourite things about this game is that the guns aren't just guns. There's not just real world facsimiles of guns, or they've not just made some thing that they think might be the next breakthrough in technology. They've gone and had a real field day with this. There's one of my personal favorites is the laptop gun. So the laptop gun is as a secondary function, you can throw it down and it creates a sentry gun. And the enemies come past it, they get taken down by that sentry gun until it runs out of ammo. You can replace one, and when you place a new one, the old one explodes. It doesn't eat ammo like crazy, but I think that it's a great little thing that the game designers have created. It's a fun little It's a fun little trinket that you can mess around with, that you can strategically place on bunkers or in little areas around corners. Someone thinks, hey, hey, I've got you now. They come running around the corner, the sentry gun wipes them out, and they go, where did that come from? And you go, haha, you didn't see my laptop gun. Why laptop gun? I don't know. The other one, which was a gun that my friends and I, like, we banned this weapon because it was just this ridiculous, and that was the Farsight. Mainly because the Farsight um, allowed you to shoot through walls. So you aimed in and you could see through. You saw this kind of really vague version of the level with just lines for ramps and stuff like that. But you could see the other person and you could basically shoot them down through the level. Um, we did it a few times just to see how well it worked, but by and large, didn't use it because it's basically a cheap way to win. Um, Again, a nice fun little thing to have, a bit of alien technology in this game. There are aliens in the story. They look like stereotypical aliens. You can unlock the aliens to play as them in multiplayer. He's called one of them's called Elvis, and one of the character designs has him in a Stars and Stripes waistcoat. I don't know why. Again, it's a nice silly touch. One of the other alien weapons you have is this gun called the Phoenix. Second, the secondary fire is explosive rounds, so that's always fun. If you love explosions, you can go around firing that and blowing stuff up. Um, Great fun weapon. My personal favourite was the Super Dragon. Its secondary function is a grenade launcher, so it makes a satisfying thump noise as well when you fire it, as all rocket launchers, grenade launchers should do. Um, I really liked that function. It was a great machine gun as well. I really liked it for that. There was then its weaker version, which was the Dragon. Its secondary mode is you can turn it into a proxy mine. This is why this game is just, I think, one of the best. Not enough games do this, take chances and do silly things like have a gun that can turn into a mine. So again, you can just chuck that down if someone's chasing you, or you're in a mission, Sims. There is actually a mission where you can save time and you can actually avoid doing part of the mission simply by using a Super Dragon. So there's a level, I can't really remember the level, but part of it is you need to blow open a wall, and you get given this crate. This is also one of my favourite levels that you have to protect. It's right at the beginning of the game, but you can push it into a corridor and protect it. You're not allowed to let the guard shoot it and blow it up. You've got to use it to blow open the wall. However, what you can do is something that I have always liked doing, and some of my friends do this as well, is we hide the crate at the beginning of the level, just push it down the slope, then run through to or even just leave the box behind and try and not blow it up. Or you can blow it up yourself if you want to for a laugh, and you feel the objective. But this is the only mission where if you do that, you can actually recover the mission. The other ones, when you do this, you've got to restart the mission again, but this one you can. And that's because you can pick up a dragon as part of the mission, and you can run up to the wall, lob the proximity mine dragon, and then you can shoot it. So the good thing is you can shoot the mine yourself. And of course, it will explode because it's a mine. But it's nice that you can actually shoot your own mines. And so then you can shoot the gun, it blows up, it blows a hole in the wall, and you go from having an incomplete mission and a fail to having, you go from having, an incomplete mission and a fail to being back on track again. And it's just that I don't know if game designers nowadays, with the whole internet and patches and stuff like that, would actually allow that to happen. They would certainly patch the heck out of that. I'll tell you that now. Game designers, I'm pretty sure, would patch that, and you would be able to do it. But because this isn't on the internet. This is just on in the cartridge. You can do that from shipping of the game. It's a nice little thing you can do. I really like that. It's what makes this game really. What other weapons do I really like? There's the AR-34. There's the RCP. There was the RCP-90 in GoldenEye. They've upped the ante with the RCP-120. It's just massive. It can fire. It eats ammo, but it completely obliterates your enemies, and it can allow you to cloak. The cloaking eats ammo, but it's a cloaking device and a gun. Just showing you that they've taken the whole futuristic concept and just run with it. Really, they've taken that button and just gone, right, we're running with this. And it's I think, one of my favourite guns in the game. It's undoubtedly a great idea, a fun idea, and I just think that this game is this is what makes this game, and what makes this game so good, is that there's so much to talk about in this game. It's so fun, it's so different, it's just, and you can't meddle with it either. The game designers aren't going to be able to tinker with it and mess about with it and do all sorts of nonsense patches, changing a gun from being utterly garbage to making it really good. It is as it is, and for that, I think it is one of the best. And even though it's a really old console, I think it will remain one of the best. The sad thing about it is it's owned by Rare, and Microsoft bought Rare, so this isn't good for Nintendo fans. Briefly, I want to talk about the fact that they did a sequel, prequel. Well, I'm guessing you can call it a prequel because of the name. Perfect Dark Zero on Xbox is rubbish. That's all I'll say on it in this video. It's pants. But forget about that for just now. I'll maybe do a separate video talking about why I don't like that game. Same way I want to think a video at some point saying why I don't like the GoldenEye port on the Wii. But I want to keep positive and about Perfect Dark. So let me know what you think, what your favourite memories are of Perfect Dark, what you like about it. Did you play it? Did you not play it? Did you like it? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much.